What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland, joined by Lauren Khalil. Lauren, how are you and what is the temperature?
It broke 70 today. I
Oh,
know. I went outside with no jacket,
yes.
in shorts, and the sun was shining on my face, and it's amazing what sunshine will do after not seeing it for, like, 6 months.
Fantastic.
A single
Amazing.
tear came
Yeah.
down her eye and slowly dripped down.
I even considered running outside because it was so nice. I
Whoa.
didn't, but I considered it.
Whoa!
Consider it.
I
I thought
thought
And
about
about
it.
it.
featuring now arriving in 40's waiting room,
Ah, yes.
Tommy Marquez, who recently, yesterday, as we record this, celebrated a birthday. Congratulations, my friend. Happy birthday. How was it?
Thank you, sir. Sore. I felt
You just got
like
sore from your birthday. It was like you're 39 now, so all of a sudden
yeah.
it's gonna
I
hurt more.
just woke up and there was like, oh, hey, there's a new pain.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or
Mar-
just ran out.
Marcy Sawyer's called me and he just goes to wish me happy birthday, and he just goes, "Happy birthday, God, you're
That's what
old."
that's what that's
Oh,
the reaction. I'll never
no.
forget. In 2014, when I turned 40, Mars, I'd worked there, what, 3 years, 2 years?
Yeah.
And Mars was like, "Well, how old are you, man?" I go, 40. He goes, "Gah!" Like I just punched him in the cagoots or something, He just gave me this reaction. Like, dude, it's not that bad. Oh, man, I'm
Yeah.
not dead.
That he basically said the same thing. He's like, "How are you 40?" He's like, "We're putting you out to pasture soon." I'm like, Jesus, Mars.
Well, he's pretty close too, isn't he? Like
Yeah, he's a year behind me, and
so he's driving to the waiting room.
yeah, he is. He's in the car. He's at a stoplight.
Nice. Well, glad you're both doing well. Glad it was sunny in upstate New
Mhm.
York. It was sunny here
Mhm.
today too. Beautiful day here in California. But we're getting rain tomorrow, so we're just going to enjoy it while we can. Happy daylight savings, everybody! For those of you who celebrate, it's nice to have a little daylight at the in the evening when you get home. But we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to recap week 2 of the Open, talk about some of the stuff that stands out to us on the leaderboard, recap the announcement, and then we have a conversation with two men who are going to be running two separate in-person semifinal events. Wilson Pack, who is running the East in-person semifinal with the Syndicate Crown, and then Jeremy Teal, who is running the Fittest Experience. That is the West semifinal, the West in-person semifinal. Both of them affiliate owners as well. They've been around this community for a long time, so it's cool to get their perspective on running an event, but not only running an event that they would usually run, but now running it as part of a season. So that's going to be a good conversation with the two of them. But before we start, we want to thank our sponsor for today, and that is Thirdzy. And Tommy, now that you're knocking on 40's door,
He's got a double scoop.
you know the importance of getting good quality restorative sleep. Because if you're a master athlete, I cannot recommend Thirdzy highly enough, because not only, when you're a kid, you just need sleep, right? But when you're a master, you need restorative sleep. You need sleep that repairs your body, that fixes your joints, fixes all the aches and pains and the creaks that you got going on. And Thirdzy's going to help you do that. Why? Because their rest and recovery collagen is perfect to help calm your central nervous system, helps you get to sleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling great. You got 10 grams of collagen in just one
Mm.
scoop. You take it before bed. It tastes great. It's melatonin free, because melatonin does not, I repeat, does not improve your sleep quality and can leave you groggy. Thirdzy is a full stack recovery solution containing natural ingredients that help relax your mind and body and help you wake up feeling better and feeling restored. You can go to thirdzy.com/TEF and 20% off will automatically be taken off your order, just like that.
Bam.
Thirdzy.com/TEF, 20% off on their rest and recovery collagen. Man, I tell you what, I look forward to drinking that stuff every night.
It's like a little
And
treat.
boy,
It is.
I needed it after this open workout.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's talk about that, because I did the open workout. I did it Thursday night. I did it on my own in my driveway. No
Oh, good.
expectations.
Down and dirty. I like it.
And beat someone I don't know if he redid it, so I'll have to check. But on his first go, beat someone in my age group who I have a lot of respect for by 1 rep. And the reason why I beat him, and I'm not going to call him out, but I was surprised that I beat him. But he got to the bar muscle ups like a minute ahead of me. But I hit every one of my attempts, and he missed a bunch.
Why
Can
don't
you
you call him
reveal the
up?
name?
No, I'm not going to reveal that.
What?
He's another bald, well-known person in this You know,
Another bald white guy.
yeah, but we were comparing notes because I wanted to know how he did, right?
Yeah.
Um, but and like I said, I don't know if he redid it, and I didn't have a judge or anything like that. I just did it. I'm pretty sure I moved well, but I sandbagged the hell out of that first round, like
Mhm.
Me
just
too.
the point where I think if people had been watching, they'd be like, "Are you trying right now?" Because I knew that when I got to round two, because for me, high volume chest to bar pull ups when I'm tired are tough, and I was like,
Mhm.
I have got to make sure that I get to that portion with enough energy to do as few sets as possible. And that was my strategy, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a similar strategy actually. So, in 2022, I finished it, under the cap, and so when I hopped up to do a warm-up pull-up after doing my warm-up on Saturday, it was the first pull-up I believe I've done since October.
Oh man.
That is a
So
long hiatus for
Mhm.
pull-ups.
I don't have access to a pull-up bar at my house. I have only been to the gym a handful of times. We've not done pulling motions. In fact, the only pulling motion I've done was a ring row, and and my lats cramped up on me the first
Welcome
one
to
I did.
39.
So I was like,
Mm.
"Ah,
Happy
no."
birthday.
So I was like, staying away from that. So I was nervous, and I told my judge, my buddy Sam, I was like, I don't care about my score.
Mm.
I'm not doing it for reals. But do not let me do big sets. You
Didn't
have the
Mm.
right to pull me off of whatever I'm doing if I do big sets. And I'm like, I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna get one set and I'm gonna have like a little bit of juice behind me
Mm.
from the start, and then I'm gonna convince myself into doing a bigger set.
Yep.
You tell me no. No matter what I say. It's like, it's like that old trope in a movie, like, no matter how hard I beg, do not
Yeah.
let me out of this room,
Uh,
and 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 sure enough, 3, 2, 1, go. We hop up, I start going, and I did all C kip, no butterfly. I was like, "Don't let me do
wow.
butterfly either."
Wow,
I'm gonna
that's
Wow.
stick
You
with C
really
impressive.
kip.
sandbagged it. All right.
And I'm like 8, and 9, and as soon as I hit 9, I'm like, "You know what? I could do 15." In my head. It didn't
No.
even take as soon as I come down, he goes, "Get off now. Now, 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 now." In my face, I'm like, "Okay, okay, I get
Mm,
off." And he saved me because as soon as I did the first set of chest to bar pull-ups, my heart rate went from like
yep.
115 to like 160
Yep. That was a
Oh
whole
my
immediately.
workout for
god.
me. Getting through that as quickly as I possibly can and have enough to not have to do, a ton of sets on the thrusters. How'd you do, Lauren?
I would like to think that almost 10 years of CrossFit, I've gotten wiser and I'm done making dumb decisions. And I am not so happy to report that that's not the case. I still make very dumb choices.
It happened.
I My goal was to finish because
Wow.
back in 2022, I got capped after 10 double unders into
Ooh,
the last set. So I
man.
had just got done with the bar muscle ups, but back then I only had singles. Now I can string
Mm,
bar muscle ups together. So I was like, you know what? I should be able to finish. I do it at Friday Night Lights at my home gym. And I got through 3 thrusters on the last bar. And I'm like, dang, if I had like 30 more seconds, I know I could finish this thing. So I wake up the next day and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel too bad. I feel pretty
no,
good.
no, you don't
And
do that.
all of my friends are doing it in their gym. And I still, even though like I'm doing the workouts on
Mm,
Friday, I'm still going and hanging out with them and, doing some recovery on a bike. And I was like, no, I'm taking this on and I'm going to finish this mother effer if my life depended on it.
Oh.
And
you would
I
be
got to
perfect.
the bar muscle ups 2 minutes slower
Yep.
than my pace from Friday. And I was like, okay, I could have stopped. But in my head, I'm like, you know what? Just another good training day. Getting out of bed on Sunday, I my lats felt so inflamed.
Yep.
I had to waddle and sidestep because my quads were so lit. Today's the first day that I feel somewhat like a real human.
Well, they're good for
Oh, brick, my sweet brick.
you. Yeah.
Dumb.
Anytime I've done that,
Dumb.
I've only not beaten a redo or my original with a redo one time. And I think it was on the box jump snatch one, dumbbell snatch
Mhm.
one. And I
No,
remember
I hate that.
looking up at the clock the second time I did and be like, I'm way behind here. I'm just
Yeah.
so
That's a tough one to redo because you can't. It just feels so long, and it really doesn't matter
Mhm.
till you get to like the bigger sets.
Yeah.
But I did hit my goal though because I was like, I just want to do 10 bar muscle ups.
Nice.
If I can do 10 bar muscle ups,
Mhm.
great. And I got up on the first. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I haven't done one yet, and I popped right up, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And I did a second one. I was like, "Oh, sweet mother speed, I'm back." And then immediately failed the third one,
Yep.
and I hit my ribs so hard, I have a
Oh,
bruise
Mm,
right across my sternum. And the next
yep.
I came home and I went to go get in the shower, and my wife's like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "Is that from the failed rep?" And I'm like,
mhm.
"Yeah." She goes, "You can't do that anymore."
Dude, I get those all the time. Right here, I get bruises for I guess I just
Yeah.
Same.
don't know what it is. But yeah, I like that workout a lot because
Me
it
too.
has it has like the hallmarks of a very good open workout, which is there's a point where everyone gets to play, like that first and second round. That's where we're all at, and then that third round is where the really good people get to play, and they get to finish it in an ungodly short amount of time.
Yeah.
But it has something for everybody in there. But it also allows the best of the best to separate, which is what And then I've seen people complain about, oh, this is too hard. I can't. Well, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to show you where your weaknesses are. And I think for me, it's always been about, did this give me a good look at where my fitness is right now? I was like, yeah, that pretty much is it. I mean, I was like, I'll make a really dated reference here. Have you ever seen the Police Academy movies where Hooks is taking the driver's test? He's just like,
Yeah.
just like weaving, like, is it like 5 miles an hour? That was me in round one, just whistling away and having a good time in round one. And then I kind of tried to stomp the gas in round two, but it was a good workout. And speaking of good, um, for what I try to call balls and strikes here. See something I like, that's good. See something I don't like, that's good. Like try to be objective. And if CrossFit does something I like, great. If they don't, that's why I disagree with it. But I was able to watch that announcement
Mhm.
with Emily Rolfe and Sydney Wells. And
Mhm.
I tell you what, I think they knocked it out of the park. I think that announcement is everything that open announcements are supposed to be. They stripped out all the superfluous stuff that they stuffed in there last year. Lauren, you were part of one of those shows. I was part of one
Mhm.
of them. There was so much going on in those shows that it got so bogged down and it was hard to follow. And this was right down the middle. Here we are. Here are the athletes. Here's the workout. Here's something about the affiliate. They interviewed someone there, and then they
Yep.
threw
Mhm.
down, and that was it. Like they got right to it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed watching it. It didn't drag. It didn't seem overly bloated. And so kudos to CrossFit for putting on what I thought was a really fun event to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good it's a good blueprint of how they should structure it moving forward. I felt like you got a pulse of what the vibes were like inside. They
Mhm.
made it fun. Obviously the workout was great. The content that they had with Sydney and Emily was really entertaining. Emily got uh oh, why am I blanking on what it iced at the end?
I saw
Um,
that. Yeah.
which was super fun content, and, yeah, I would agree that it was very well done.
What'd you think, Tommy?
No, I thought it was a good announcement,
Yeah.
I
quick
thought
to
both
the
weeks have been
point.
good.
Yeah, I thought both weeks have been good too. I mean, like you said, uh, in the last few years, I think they've tried to shoehorn way too much stuff in,
Mhm.
and it just felt gaudy and unwieldy. And it's like, look, what do people show up for? They want to hear the workout. They want to see the best, two of the best athletes in the world throw down. And then, you could sprinkle in some stuff about the affiliate where you're
Mhm.
at, because that's like a unique element of it. But it doesn't need to be much more than that,
No.
like you said. And yeah, I think viewership is still technically down. It rose from week 2 to week 1, which is good.
Yeah, they had like
Um,
114,000 concurrent with that was the highest number I saw. And I may have missed something when it was higher, but I tried to keep an eye on it. And
yeah.
during the workout, I think they had like 114,000 people watching. So
I saw 122
good.
week 1.
Mhm.
Supposedly they had more. It may have been like more people viewed it after the
Yeah.
fact too, like total views. But yeah, cuz you've been a part of them for a large period of time, but once the big name athletes
Yeah.
go, you see that drop off if you try to fit any other storytelling in after the
Mhm.
fact. So, yeah, hopefully they keep it simple, keep it straightforward. Let the athletes lead the way, and
Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing, and this is a problem when we were doing them too, there's no way to get around this. Like if I were going to nitpick here, and I give him a solid A for this, if I had to give him a grade, I was like, that was a really good show. Really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. Moved quickly, didn't waste
Yep.
time. Is that, you could make it even tighter if you had the athletes ready to go. You announced the workout, you had like a couple minutes just to set up and go. But to do that, you would have to tell them the workout ahead of time, let them warm up and be ready to go when you made the announcement. That's the only thing. But
Yeah.
again, now I am nitpicking.
Yeah, I still think there's value in doing like the like Spirit of the Community award
Yeah, for sure.
and like that stuff, doing just sprinkling a little bit in there.
Yeah, and I
Um,
thought when they did, they didn't linger on it, and it wasn't, it's
Mhm.
like, "Hey, this is going on. Let's move on to the next thing." Like it moved well. I just thought it was really well done. I think week 3 is going to be a blast, given the people that they have. The
yep.
athletes are going to be doing it. If they keep that format and keep that energy, it to me like this really felt like what it was when it was at its best. And so,
Yeah.
congratulations to the people involved because you know Haynes and Emily aren't there anymore. They're not calling the shots. I don't know who is, but it's either someone who knows how to put on a good show or is listening to the people who do.
Hmm.
So that was well done. Looking forward to week 3. Want to talk
Yep.
about the leaderboard a little bit here?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Colton Mertens and Miriam Van Roer are just running away with this thing. They're
2 for
Two
2,
for two.
baby.
they're
Whew.
both perfect. Both first place finishes in the first 2 workouts. So women's side, I mean, let me see if I'll pop this up because there's some names that people are going to recognize up there.
Yeah.
Uh, Fisa Gaffi, it right now is in second place. I'm not sure who this is in third. Alasni Gayazabal, Is that how you say their name?
Because I,
From Spain.
ooh, trying to put some stank on it, Sean. I like it.
I'll butcher anybody's, native tongue.
Yeah, I mean, relatively new, I would say, in the last 5-6 years, but semifinal athlete from last year.
Got Prevo in fourth, tied with Lucy Campbell, Danielle Brandon,
Hmm.
Melissa Flowers. She has videos. And then Andrea Stolberg, as my friend Mads Jacobson would say it, or Andrea Solberg.
Yeah.
How about Kristen Holta, 39 years old, she's
Yeah.
in 10th. Get out of here
Love
with it.
to see it. Still so fit.
Yep. Lowen, she's up there. Raptis, McGonigal. Got some familiar names.
Yep.
Celier's up there. Yeah. Okay. 1 week to go. But top 1% get in. So it's like 1,200. Tia Toomey's, I think, at 54th.
Yep.
I'm just curious where she was. She, like I said, she could just fall out of bed
She-
and is qualified.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's just joshing around basically at this
yeah.
point.
And then on the men's side, Colton Mertens, back to back first place finishes the Iron Hog.
Timeout, guys. 401. That's
That is,
wild. I was just
I
having
may
a
have done the
debate with
first
somebody.
round in 401.
Do you I mean, if he got 401, I think that it is humanly possible to get sub 4, but it's so funny because right before scores were due, I was talking to somebody in my affiliate, like, is that actually possible?
That guy's
And
insane. Come on.
holy crap. Yeah,
Colton
that's a
Mertens
cool
feels
time.
no pain.
Yeah, I mean, him and Augustin Riquelme both beat their scores from a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
Mhm.
God, these
holding down
guys.
the top two
Well,
times. So
there's 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? Look at all these guys going sub 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
My God.
that's the other. I mean, yeah, Adler going 426 is pretty impressive. I
Jeez.
mean, Dallin going 432, and he's a bigger
That
athlete.
is. Mhm.
Mhm.
That's pretty impressive for him. But I know he likes thrusters, and I know he likes heavier thrusters and
Yeah.
some of the upper body gymnastics like muscle ups. It's a good combo for him.
Krennikov's up there. He's in 16th.
Mm.
Cornway, 23rd. Kelme, there he is. He finished 102nd that workout, but he's still 32nd. So no big,
Uh,
he's good to go. Yeah. So, man, Colton Mertens and Ryan Van Roer. That's good for them. Just killing this
I
thing.
I think like I would love to see people like if you recorded yours, like put your video up, and
Mm.
then at the 4:01 mark, like, put a little, like, ding, that's when Colton was
Yeah.
done.
I had that thought. I remember it was that chest to bar thruster one that I think they did in Miami. It was the 2020
Yeah,
Open.
19.5 or
Oh
maybe
my
it was
god, because it was Tia and Matt did it, right?
mhm.
And I
I
remember
I call
Yeah.
doing that
I call
workout in my garage and thinking looking up at the clock and being like, "Yeah, they were done by now. I'm not
yeah,
even close."
I called
Mhm.
that one. I was at the
Yeah.
I was at that
It's
event.
the parking garage, they did that, right? Didn't they do that on,
Yep,
like,
right on top of the parking garage
that's cool.
across from the Loud and Live, um, office or whatever you call it,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, alright. Anything more we wanna talk about the Open before we move on to our next thing?
1 week
Uh,
left.
1 week left.
There's
I think we're gonna
potential
alleged yeah,
25.3.
and allegedly, it's already out there. I've had a couple
I
people say,
yeah,
"This is what I heard it was." I
yeah.
don't know, but listen, I'm glad no one's like and maybe they haven't, I just haven't seen it. But haven't
yeah,
like, "Hey, here's the sheet. This is what it is." There just seems to be a
yeah.
lot of people who say they know
Mm,
what it is.
I've
There's
seen a
been leaks,
post with 3
You have?
versions.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
supposedly there's
it's
been a yeah.
Supposedly there's what, Tommy?
Well, I was saying that there have been, like, little leaks each week,
Yeah,
every week so far, so
but, that's happened, that's not some new thing.
no,
You can go
but
back I remember, like, 9, 10 years ago, I think there was one, but that didn't get published. Someone I remember it was after one of our announcements, I was back at the office, and that was when we still went at 5 p.m. Pacific, and someone had gotten a hold of I think it was Pat, and or maybe it was me. I can't remember. And I talked to Pat about it. Said, "Hey, this just so you know, this was out there, and no, I didn't publish it, but it got to me." I was like, "Uh oh." So these things
yikes.
have a way of getting out. I don't know how you because they have so many people testing them. People on the TV crew know them. Hell, I saw a guy. We had a guy get escorted off the premises in 2016 at the ranch because they thought he had leaked an event or he
mm.
was leaking stuff. So yeah. Anyway,
It's too bad.
I don't know how you fix it. I wish I knew. Like, I hate the fact that that happens.
People got loose lips,
Yeah,
and
apparently.
there's no repercussion for letting
Well,
shit
not
fly.
true, not true. Like I said, I just said I saw someone get fired.
Well,
We
No,
yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
as of recent.
but that was pre-chaos. That was
true.
pre-Pandora's box opening
Okay.
opening in 2018, like,
That is true.
ever since then, like, yeah,
Okay.
but
Well, speaking of consequences, let's talk about another thing that I saw today was had a bunch of people talking about on social media, and that is the fact that the World Fitness Project put a video out that was done by the Buttery Bros on Jeffrey Adler. And it got taken down shortly. I think it's less than 24 hours after it got posted. It got
mhm,
taken down because of a copyright infringement claim by CrossFit.
buy CrossFit, yep.
Now, I don't know. My guess is, and I think Tommy, you have the same thought, is that that piece, and I think I saw this. Someone mentioned this elsewhere too. That piece contained video that Mars and Heber and the Buttery Bros shot at the games as part of like a an enhanced access agreement that they had with CrossFit. And that footage, the understanding is that the Buttery Bros can use it on their channel and CrossFit can use it as well, but that's it.
That what it feels like. I don't know the exact details of the agreement that they signed for the enhanced access, so it will really come down to that, but barring barring them using broadcast footage, which I don't remember off the top of my head, I don't think they used any broadcast footage in that episode, which,
Mhm,
um, and I don't, and I think everything was that stuff that they had shot. I think that's the only real like weird loophole that I can see
mhm,
is somewhere a byline in the agreement being about, hey, where can this footage go? It can be for, I seeing,
right,
reading media agreements in the past. Usually it's like, hey, you can use it on your channel or the channel that you declare sponsor, company otherwise. And then usually they don't like it being distributed elsewhere for other people
mhm,
and third parties. It's usually like you're shooting this for yourself and who you're working for, or I'm sure CrossFit wouldn't mind you giving it to them to post too. So,
mhm.
yeah, that's the one thing that's just kind of like, ugh, I wonder if that's where what got him because it's still not up yet, and I don't know where it currently stands. I've reached out to a few people, but I haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's But I think it's interesting that would actually go after that in this instance.
Yeah, and that's s and Lauren, you know this from, from working in TV, like, you there were I'm trying to figure out how I wanna put this to not to, because I think some people might think I'm trying to insult people, and I'm not. But if you've worked in an area where you like in news or something where you understand there's what an embargo on video means, what usage, licenses you have, like what you can and can't show, where the lines are. This is nothing new. Like, this is
Yeah.
standard operating procedure. Like, you hear, if you watch an NFL game, this content is the express property of the sole
Mhm.
property of the National Football League and its 32 teams, and any rebroadcast or use of this is is prohibited without express written consent from, that's the whole disclaimer. Um, it's in news, like, there's a different set of standards for like news usage. It's why news stations can show broadcast footage, because that's in a news purpose. You're showing highlights. This has been broadcast. It's not like proprietary stuff. Now, they can't, like, a broadcast station couldn't lift NFL films footage and put it on theirs and be like, hey, here are our highlights. Like, that's a no-go.
Mhm.
But they can use broadcast. There's rules around that. Like, when the Olympics would roll around, did you work for an NBC station?
I did.
Okay, you did. So, like, NBC, when the Olympics are shown, you guys can use whatever the hell you want, right? So I didn't. I worked for a
But we
CBS.
had we
But
simulcasted.
yeah, right. So
So
you
I
could,
would anchor on NBC, and then 30 minutes later, I would go anchor on CBS, and all my scripts would have to be different on,
yeah,
like, what we could show, how we could word it, the
mhm,
use of the word Olympics, like, there was
yeah.
a ton that went with
There's
it.
a lot of restrict. Like, then the rule was you cannot show video highlights of the Olympics until 24 hours after they've rolled. So there's a 24-hour embargo, and that's why when you watch your local affiliates, if you're watching the news, when they show Olympic highlights, it's all still images, because that
Mhm.
embargo is in place. So there's
Mhm.
all this stuff exists everywhere. But I'm with Tommy because on the whole, I'm a little surprised by this, because there have been a lot of instances that I know of where I have been part of conversations about, hey, doesn't this go into copyright infringement territory? And the explanation is like, yeah, but it's just not worth it. So to me, this just shows that CrossFit 100%, and no shock here, sees the World Fitness Project as a competitor.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's, you're not using our stuff. And that's, again, this is not, I think it's a big deal because it's not something that happens a whole lot in this space. And it's just not something that's second nature. Whereas I think in other areas covering other sports, it just is. You just understand there's things you can and cannot do.
Well, yeah, and CrossFit's own policy has wavered on that quite a bit.
Mm.
I think in the early days, CrossFit was very, very protective over its trademark and
Yep.
copyright,
Mhm.
and was very aggressive.
Mhm.
And members of the legal team were pretty much given free reign to go after that kind of stuff. And then they started to relax and loosen up a little bit on it. And then, especially in the past few years, it's kind of been at the discretion of CrossFit on whether or not, like, A, they like someone,
Yeah.
or B, they think it's worth the hassle to actually, like, you know, file a copyright,
Mhm.
infringement thing and quote unquote, like, cause drama, right? Like, is the
Right.
drama worth it? And it's like, okay, so you're not that intent, but clearly they felt like it was important to hear. Which,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm not surprised it happened, but I do think, like, reading the tea leaves a little bit, that's kind of where you see, like, oh, okay, yeah, of course they would do it to
Mhm.
them specifically,
Yeah.
to World Fitness Project.
And I don't, and look, I want to just be clear. I don't think World Fitness Project thought they were trying to pull one over. I think this is like just an
No, of
innocent
course
mistake.
not.
You know,
Of course not. You know how much footage Marcin Heber and Julian and the Buttery Bros
Oh my
have?
god,
yeah,
I
insane.
mean, I'm talking, like, I mean, I hundreds of terabytes, maybe. I don't know if that's overselling that,
I
but
don't think
I
it is
like
selling it.
no, the amount of footage that they take and that they store and that they catalog, and they, especially the last 5 years when I've been on the road constantly, like, I've seen Marston go through more,
Mhm.
like, what are those RAIDs, those external hard drives,
Mhm.
just stacked up on his desk everywhere. Um, they're probably like, "Hey, this is our footage. We shot it, whatever. Let's roll with it." And if I'm being honest, like, if you didn't view them as a competitor, you could see why this would ultimately breed interest in the sport as a whole. So it would kind of support you in some way, shape, or form because it's people keeping people engaged. And if
Mm.
Adler competes in the game season, then you're also just keeping people engaged with that athlete.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a curious instance of them, filing that, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see more of it, and hopefully, I'm bummed because I thought the video was really good, and the storytelling element is something that's needed,
Mhm.
and I want to continue to see that. So hopefully, it's something that a minor course correct in the future, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's because it's a great story following Jeff. A lot of people were pumped on it, and to see that momentum for that type of content suddenly hit a screeching halt while people have to wait and be like, "What the hell?" That
Mhm.
sucks.
And I think they've already I don't know where they are with production, but they had the Laura Horvath piece that I think was coming after Jeff or
Yeah.
soon thereafter.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. They filmed it. They filmed with Laura in Budapest
Mhm.
or maybe a different city, but last week. So, I mean, they can film this morning and turn it around
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh, yeah, and
They're
that's
the
why I'm like, I don't really know what their timeline is because it could be a month from now or it could be tomorrow that it was supposed to come out, you
yeah,
know?
they're the best at churning and burning.
Those
So
guys are
Yeah,
machines, man.
yeah.
yeah,
Um, but look, I think here's the good thing, right? From the World Fitness Project standpoint, it's clearly they want to do some high level media. They have that. I think they put out the thing about there's a well, it was on their Instagram page. So it seems like there's gonna be like some like regularly occurring, for lack of a better term, update show. Uh,
Oh,
I'm a part of it.
yeah,
I was on that
yeah.
episode. Yeah,
Tommy's part of it. So there you go. That
yeah,
make sure I could let that out there. But they're like they want to create
yep,
content. They want to drive interest in the season. They're going to have their own event here in 2 months where they can get all kinds of their own stylized footage, and then this isn't a problem anymore,
yeah.
mhm.
right? So, bump in the road, but yeah, to me it was like, oh, like you said, Tommy, that's the one you're going to go after. Okay, noted. You know,
Yep.
because yeah, there have definitely been, I think, some times where I've been on email threads about, hey, like why isn't this or why is that, and the answer is, it's just not worth it. Okay,
Mhm.
got it.